awkward situation set up that we got. Thanks so much, Darcy. Okay. Where am I calling you from? What part of the world are you in?
I'm in North Carolina right now.
You're in South Carolina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, okay. So just the questions that I had asked you on that email would pretty much be just that, just because the woman that I'm interviewing is upset about Mutilation Watch, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to give your perspective on what it is that you guys do.
Okay, well, we are basically just trying to enlighten the world to the true horrors of circumcision. I understand that there are some morally gray areas with the idea of sharing pictures of people's children or of strangers in general. And to us, what's more important is the message that we're trying to get across. People are also worried about their pictures being shared, and we feel that people should be more worried about the babies that are being tortured on a regular basis, sometimes dying or needing several surgeries to repair damages. Some children have lost entire penises, I guess we're more worried about the children, and other people are more worried about what people think. I circumcised my son, and it's not something that I am proud of admitting. But at the end of the day, I know that I can admit that I harmed him. I paid a doctor to remove a fully functioning organ from his penis. While he was awake, they gave him only sugar water for pain control. And it's hard, but I can also admit that, I thought I was doing what was best, as I think most parents are, And now that I know better, I can do better. And it's working with groups like Mutilation Watch and doing things like the 5051 national protest that I did on March 24th that actually reaches, countless people. I've had so many people come to me and say, thank you, for what you do, because
do you understand how it could be very traumatizing to a new mom to find that her post with a photo of her baby had been taken and put on your website, and then to have her subjected to some pretty horrendous name-calling, accusations of pedophilia and child abuser, and then death threats as well? It seems to go beyond education from the perspective of Mutilation Watch.
Well, aside from death threats, which are, there's absolutely no reasons for death threats whatsoever, and that is something that we very much do not support. We ban anyone who goes, too far with it, or if we find out that they are specifically harassing and threatening another person. But again, that all really goes back to we're worried more about the mom and her feelings and not so much about what happened to the baby. It's almost as if someone is going to a rapist, which obviously it's different than circumcision, but, just speaking of another type of abuse and saying, oh, but how would that rapist feel if it was outed that they had raped someone? And, it's kind of, we're taking the attention away from the victim and putting it onto the abusers, because do the parents purposely, harm their children or pay the doctors to harm their children? No. But did they play a part in it? Yes, they did. And unfortunately, there are going to be people who may or may not be traumatized by that. I was traumatized. I didn't have my photos shared, but I mean,
Can you just tell me how many people are involved in Mutilation Watch? How big of an organization is this?
It grows and gets, as far as the administrators, our numbers, they grow, they get smaller. It kind of, comes and goes with the different people that we trust. We have a pretty far reach, there's lots of different organizations in real life and on the internet. There's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of intactivists around the world, and we just kind of use whatever we can to get the message across. And it may sound heartless that we don't worry about, the people's feelings that we're hurting. It's not that we don't care about them as people. It's just that, we're worried about the bigger picture, which is saving future children.
Which is for sure getting your point across. And I'm just wondering, so does your organization specifically approve of sort of an online bullying or an online harassment of mothers or fathers who choose to circumcise by posting pictures of the kids?
Well, I mean, people are welcome to do whatever they want, but as far as do we, support people bullying or, saying really harsh and just cruel things, absolutely not. If you pay attention to the things that we say on the page, very rarely, or if ever, will you see us actually attacking an individual person, saying things like, oh, you're a terrible person, or I'm going to hurt you, or no, we're very factual. Like, this is abuse, this is what happened, and that's kind of how it is. Now, when people comment and they say their own things, we can't exactly control what other people say. We can ban certain members that are giving, issues to people, or if people make us aware of certain things that perhaps we've overlooked. That's really all that we can do. And a lot of people, they twist the message of what our page is for because of the types of comments that can be elicited from sharing these posts. And I understand how that gets into, another morally gray area as well. But again, the bigger picture is that we are changing minds. We are saving children, and we are a part of the history that is being made as times change, because circumcision, is a dying practice. We honestly believe that. It's become banned in one country already, and many other countries don't do it very often. And we're hoping very much so that America will kind of, get up there with the rest of the world and stop doing it so routinely.
Do you agree that Mutilation Watch is a more militant kind of an organization than others?
I guess you would say so. We definitely have a much more preset kind of process. It's much more exact, the things that we do, whereas a lot of people just, it's a stream of consciousness thing. Like, here's
so what is it exactly? What is the sort of protocol? What is what you do that makes it?
Well, I can't, explain too much of what goes on behind scenes, but as far as what's going on the page, when we do have a post that is, shareable, our thing is, different things get shared in different ways. If it's, we actually find a status of a person talking about circumcising their child, we'll share that status, and you'll see that with every status like that, we share a gigantic ton of information along with usually a quote like, please don't torture your child, or please don't subject your child to this unnecessary surgery. And those are the main posts that we share. Other things that we do is that we share posts from the inbox. We don't screenshot them because they are private, and we don't want to share private information that goes on in our inboxes, but we do copy and paste the messages, post them anonymously on our page, give the original poster the link to the post, and let them know, hey, if you are brave enough to come and talk about this publicly, then please come join us for a discussion. And, sometimes they do, and other times they don't. And, what some people don't realize is their posts are public. If they don't want it public, if they don't want it shared, if they just switch the privacy, it would all go away. The post would disappear.
And attempts to try to get your Facebook page wiped off Facebook, Mutilation Watch wiped off Facebook. Obviously, that there have been a lot of people.
Oh, countless. It's an everyday threat that we get. I mean, it's almost comical. So many people on such a constant basis are threatening to report us to this person or report us to that person, and we are definitely working well within legal, boundaries and Facebook rules. I mean, we've never been sanctioned. We've never had anything removed. We don't get in trouble because we aren't doing anything wrong. It might be hurting people's feelings, but that's not, it's not breaking any type of privacy rules. If your things are public, and we share them, it's not exactly our fault that you have them public. Yes, we made the choice to share them, but you also left it public.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you speaking with me, Crystal.
No problem. Thank you so much for having an interest in our movement.
Awesome. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.